Hi everyone, welcome to the Double GDP sprint update for sprint ending October 15th. Um, this sprint, we hit our weekly active user target of 2,256 users, which was a big accomplishment and really shows that we are starting to get a lot of traction within Kwashi and our clients and prospective clients. We actually supported Kwashi extensively with the launch of their new residency program, and also launched our own rewards and recognition program for Nkwashi's existing clients. The product areas that we worked on were in around enrolling contacts, um, and adding more fields to users, enabling forms integrations. Unfortunately, we weren't able to fully launch the forms integration piece, but we are hoping to work a little bit more on that in the sprint. We worked on some task management stories. Again, on this side, there were a few stories that we were able to do. A major story that's still kind of in staging is adding reminders for tasks. So we are in the process of completing that. And then community engagement, adding more points, adding more capabilities around news is what we were actually able to complete all of those stories. Payments, we started off with that and we had planned for it and discussed that prior to sprint start, but it was deprioritized given shifting requests from both Nkwashi and changing goals from our double GDP side. Um, so that was deprioritized, and instead we prioritized this other feature around a larger capability around form submission and management. So within form submission management, there weren't any stories that have been released as of today, but we're hoping to launch that, as Nicholas mentioned, in the next few days after a few more code reviews. On community management, um, the a few stories that I would like to highlight that we launched were around tags in news posts. This allows us to categorize similar news posts. So if, for example, there are multiple articles with the construction tag, clients can now look at the construction tag and see all related posts to that specific area of interest that they might be looking for, or maybe on Nkwashi's progress or floor plans or pricing. Now we can group like articles and like interests. Um, the other thing that we launched was ability to make articles sticky. So if there's an specific article that we would like to leave on as a highlight post on our landing page, we can now do that. And then lastly, there was we realized that only in our management system, content management system, only the first 20 articles tend to be displayed. So we actually increased that limit, and now all historical articles are going to be displayed on our news pages. So those were like three big capabilities around community management that I'd like to highlight. On client relationship management, we actually introduced the capability of searching user by plot number, and and a, and a few stories around label management, which is really interesting on how we can manage label, categorize, group and categorize clients. And we've been using labels extensively to filter clients and to manage them in terms of how we campaign to them. So this is going to be a big value add for our CSMs. And then the last capability that I'd like to highlight is around importing and enrolling contacts in bulk. So this is, we are starting to receive a lot of leads, and this will allow us to upload them as soon as we receive them, and really empowering our CSMs to be able to enroll more than an individual client at a time. Um, on task management, we made it more interactive through more through by removing the HTML links and making fields more clickable. And then we had quite a few bugs and operational support tasks this sprint, where we had to create extra reports, fix SMS campaigns. um, there was the issue that that Nicholas mentioned around memory leak that had to be fixed, and so that was a lot of work that we had to do. For our next sprint, our weekly active user target is to grow it to almost 2,000 users. And then we are going to continue with the product areas of CRM and sales enablement, task management, community engagement, and form submission and management. Um, and we hope to continue assisting Nkashi with their product launch and create a more extensive report on the progress and to show the funnel of how clients move um, from a prospective client all the way through residence. Thank you for listening.
Hi, everyone. Hi. I'm Nicholas. I'm the head of engineering here for Double GDP, and this is the sprint summary, the engineering sprint summary for this current sprint. So this sprint we had about 20 merge requests, which is much lower than the previous sprint. In fact, it's a drop of 31%. The stories follows the same scenario. Basically, we're down 8%. We only had 33 stories in this sprint. We completed 28 stories, which is pretty much the same as the last time. And we only left the sprint with 5 open stories, which is less than almost 40% less than the previous sprint. So overall, the stories were much bigger, which is why we completed less merge requests. In terms of code coverage, we are actually up by 1.4% overall, which is great. We keep increasing. The biggest feature of this sprint really focused around forms and iteration around task features. We did not complete what we wanted to complete. The form processing is still open. There is a merge request for it, but because the tasks were so big, we are a little bit reluctant to pushing it without giving it extra code reviews. There's also security around document processing. So because we are asking sensitive information from the end user, we want to be extra careful to make sure that we do not have any information leaking to the public. Let's see, we also fixed a memory consumption issue, which was bringing down the production server on occasion. So I'm really happy about this because it was kind of a pain on my side. And we also have a promising women engineer in the pipeline. So that's wonderful. And she's a referral from Saurabh. And that's it for me. Thank you very much.
This is the engineering updates for this sprint. So this sprint, um, I worked I worked on adding comments to tasks. Now our task management has been improved. So now we can, as an admin, can add comments to a task, and we can actually edit those comments and delete them. So I'm going to add a comment now. Yeah, so the comment has been created. I can actually edit that comment, and I can actually delete it. Yeah, it's gone. I can hide the comments, and I can also display the available comments. We actually added this functionality in order to improve collaborations on a particular task, so that admins can actually comment on a task, and the person that is has been assigned to the task can also add or reply to those comments. Also, we worked on adding tags to our various posts. Yeah, so this is a post that has just two tags, which is architecture and construction. So on clicking on those tags, we fetch several related posts that have the same tags. So we can see that this post has the same tag with this as construction tag. So on clicking on those cards, we actually go to that post and all available tags are also displayed. Yeah. So we added the tags so that we'll be able to group related posts together. Also, we worked on the ability of an admin to search for users using the plot number. So whenever a user search for whenever a user search for um, so whenever a user search for a plot number, so this is a plot number. So on clicking enter, I'll be able to search for users that owns that plot number, and on clicking on those users, I'll be able to view their profile. Yeah, we also worked on the label management, so we improved the interface. Yeah, also we add the edit functionality, so we can actually edit um, our labels. So I'm going to edit the first label now. So and um, and I can actually select the colors that I want. So if I'm not okay with the present color, I can choose any of this color and it to be. So we can see that the edit as all the fields has been edited. Yeah, so we can also delete a label. Right, so I'm just going to delete the first one. So you need to select if you want, or you can also cancel it. So the label has been deleted. Yeah, so that's it from me. I will hand over to Olivier.
Right. Thanks, Tolu.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I hope you're doing all right. Um, let me share my screen. All right. So one of the things that we worked on, as Tolu was saying, is the label management. So I basically worked on this screen to get the labels and the total number of users that are assigned or related to those labels. So that's a page that's here. Then the other thing that we worked on is to make sure that the post pages only shows a number of posts, so the user doesn't have to keep scrolling all the way down, or maybe where other pages are not showing on this page. So we added the pagination so the users can see um, a limited number of posts, then they can paginate through other pages as well. So for example, I'm on page 3 here. So if I click on 2, then so it takes some time to load, but then to load the pages for the post for page 2. And you can also go to page 1 or other pages as well. Then the other thing that I worked on was to add the visual way for admins to see the links. Initially, it was just showing in edit form. So it was showing an HTML link that wouldn't have made much sense to CSMs who are looking at the task description or the task body. So I added a way to toggle between the reading mode and the editing mode. So on editing, they can come and change um, the, the link and they can toggle between the viewing or the editing. Yeah, then also the other thing that worked on the engineering side is enforcing the prop types. This is to make sure that all the components that we have, they have, they're basically, the arguments that we're giving them are expected, and we know exactly what's expected from those components. This helps us avoid errors, and also in future, in case I'm working on something that Tolu was working on, it's easy for me to tell exactly what I need to fit that component. Yeah, that's it from my side. Um, yeah, thanks a lot. I'll hand over to Nuruddin. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Olivia. I will be sharing my screen now. Okay. A minute. So one of the things we also worked on in this sprint is about Facebook metadata. Previously, if a user shares an article from the application, we were basically showing the same picture as post description for every post. So right now we are doing that now dynamically. So if I try to share this particular post on Facebook, I will see the picture of the post I'm trying to share. And at the same time, I will see a kind of a description, just a little text from the post itself. Yeah. So another thing we worked on was on the news page. So on the news page previously, there was the kind of inconsistency in the way we display categories right here. Talking about in singular forms. So we have made sure now that there is consistency. Everything is now in plural form, as we can see here. We worked on was about the feature we released last sprint. So we have restricted the ability to see this point to only clients in the application. So if you are any other user type, you will not be able to see the points, and because it is only clients that will be rewarded eventually in this program. So I'm currently logged in as an admin here, and as you can see, I do not have the points on my dashboard, on my landing page. So if I log in as a client in this particular page, I'm logged in as a client, and you can see the points I've gotten for this week, right? So we also worked on bulk import that Minza talked about. That's to enable our customer success managers to be able to put in a lot of users at a time into the system. So if you go to the users page, we have a new link there called bulk upload that takes you to this page, and you have the opportunity of selecting the file that contains the list of the contacts you want to import. If I click this, I can select a CSV. For example, let's say I select this, and immediately I do the selection, I have this thing shown up, which means if I do not want to go ahead, I can just cancel. Now we return back to the users page. And if I want to go ahead, I just click on the imports, and that starts the process. So I get the response back eventually, and what I'm having here is kind of summary of what has happened in the backend. So telling me that 25 users already exist from the document I'm trying to upload, and 89 users have errors, and 0 users will be added. So I'm talking about the 89 users that have errors. Every problem with each of the rows I'm trying to upload. For example, starting from row 26, I have what is wrong with each of them, and this will enable the admins to see where the problem is is coming from and what needs to be fixed. Also, when we rolled out the recognition feature last week, there was a kind of an issue that one of our customers ran into, talking about receiving the weekly reminder that we put in place multiple times. So we have been able to track that down now, and we have resolved that, and it's working perfectly now. So the last thing we worked on during this sprint was ability to make an article sticky, just as Minza said during our update. As you can see on the landing page, we normally show article, as you can see here, but now we do not only show most recent ones. Now we can also show the sticky ones, and the sticky ones take priority over the most recent ones. As we can see here, the Kwashi residency program is a sticky article, and that is why the first one that is shown here. So all these other ones, they were published after this, but because this one is sticky, that's why it's shown here. So this allows our users, this allows us to present what we want our users, like the post we want them to see every time to the on the landing page, so that they don't have to move around before they see it. So I think that's basically from my side. I will be handing over back to, I think, Nicholas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I believe this concludes this sprint. Thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you next sprint.